What's up, guys? This is Mat Astacio coming at you from First Round Stoppage podcast, brought to you by the Daily Strike Media Group. I'm here with Alex Alumbaugh, right? How do you say that?
Yeah, you said it perfectly.
Awesome,
yeah.
Nice. Didn't butcher that.
First try.
I'm here with Alex Alumbaugh. He's one of the competitors that's going to be fighting here on March 23rd at Fight Night Fury. It's going to be an awesome night of Muay Thai fights as well as some grappling, some team grappling 3-on-3. We're really excited about this event, and I wanted to bring Alex in here to talk a little bit about his upcoming fight and talk about his opponent and talk about his training regimen, his eating habits, that weight cut, all of the stuff that goes into it. So I'm really excited to have him on here. Thank you so much, Alex, for doing this and you know, taking your time out of your day and out of your training schedule to come and talk to me a little bit about what you're preparing for and how you're getting ready for this fight. But why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? How long have you been training? Let's start with that. Let's start with
Sure.
when you started Muay Thai. I mean,
yeah. Well, first, thanks for having me.
Of course.
You know, it's my first time ever doing something like this, so it's pretty cool.
You're doing great so far,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Well, 30 seconds. Yeah. So when did I start Muay Thai? It's been about 4 years now, actually. Yeah. And I did jits for a little while, for about 6 months when I started. Didn't really feel it, you know.
Yeah. Wasn't your cup of tea, right?
Right. Yeah. You know, everyone's like, you got a good jits body, you should do it. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. You know, I'm 6'2", I'm really lanky, you know, so I thought it would work.
Great triangle choker.
Right. Yeah. That's yeah, exactly. But
Absolutely.
it wasn't really fitting for me. But so I've been training for 4 years, and the way I kind of got into it is, so I went to Downers Grove South, at the high school over here.
Okay, nice.
And they had this thing, a wellness day that you don't have gym class that day. Instead, there are all these booths set up in the gym, and you visit them. You know, there's like dentists and, you know, chiropractors or whatever. Counter-Strike had.
Yeah, we do that every year, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we still do that.
Exactly. Yeah, you do.
Cool.
And so Counter-Strike had a booth set up, and I remember it was like sophomore year of high school maybe, and I went and I checked it out, and you know, they simulated a round in the ring, so there was push-ups and sit-ups and jump rope and whatever. And I remember the last 30 seconds was those bags that have the arms up in the air like that.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And you're supposed to just wail on it. And I remember sitting down there and I'm just hitting it. I'm like, this just feels weird.
Yeah.
I can't imagine myself hitting somebody that's laying down. So that's how I knew I didn't want to do MMA, right? Because that's why I chose a stand-up sport. But then 2 years later, you know, maybe 3 actually, that's when I decided to actually like go through with it. You know, after 2 or 3 years of actually
testing some stuff out.
Not even. I just didn't do it.
Really?
Like it kind of left my mind. I was like, whatever. I'm in high school, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? Let me try this. And then that was one of the few sports that I was able to stick with.
And you started here at Counter-Strike, right? That was your first gym ever, affiliation, any of that? I mean, I remember first meeting you here. I first came here starting with Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I started training that a little bit, and then I went into the jiu-jitsu world because I'm a wrestler. It just made sense for me. But yeah, I remember we trained together. We started almost around the same time, actually.
It might have been,
about it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a long time coming. How do you feel, man? What do you think has changed over that course of 4 years as far as your skill set, as far as your Muay Thai experience and what you've learned over that time?
Well, I definitely feel more prepared. I definitely know a lot more than when I first started. And even once I started like thinking about a fight and actually getting into it, I feel like just in those short few weeks of kind of getting really into it, I've improved. I mean, miles of improvement just because I'm actually putting more effort into it. I didn't think about it sooner because I years ago I was in school, and
there's focus in different areas.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm trying to finish school. I got a job, whatever, blah blah blah. I'm working over 40 hours a week, kind of thing.
Yep.
And so before I didn't really have time. My schedule was always changing. And then now I'm in a more steady job Monday through Friday. I have a very set schedule. It's very easy to get time in the gym.
Absolutely.
And then weekends free makes all the difference. On top of that,
being able to get in here for extra rounds, extra reps, extra workouts and stuff like that. Even before we got here, you and Cole we're getting in some rounds, getting some training done.
I've been here since like 1 o'clock. And
really?
5 o'clock right now. Yeah.
Jeez, wow, that's determination right there.
So,
and you're cutting to 155, right?
Yep.
155. Your opponent is Uriel Salvidar.
Salvidar,
something like that. We'll talk a little bit about him towards the end. But how are you preparing? How's the weight cut going?
Weight cut, at first I was really nervous. The reason I chose, I'm about 165. The reason I chose the 10-pound is just because I've never cut weight before. I've never had to do it. Never really seriously worked out to the point of doing it.
Yeah, of course.
So I was like, okay, let's just do 10. That'll be easy.
Test the waters.
Right. And at the end of my workout today, I'm 161. So I'm just thinking, wow, I probably could have done 150 or even
145.
Less, yeah, seriously, right. Yeah.
Definitely could have gone that extra mile, but it's scary, dude. Weight cutting sucks, man.
So
I come from a world of wrestling, and when I was from freshman year to senior year, I skipped every Thanksgiving. I had to cut every single year. I was varsity freshman year. I had to cut down to 103 pounds.
Wow.
Every year.
Wow.
So it was terrible. I mean, I started at 103 and then I went up, as I grew and whatever.
And they're brutal in high school too. They're brutal about it. Yeah.
My coach was my dean.
Yeah.
So I'd be at lunch and he'd be coming in like, "What are you eating that for?
Yeah,
right. What is that pizza I see?"
Detention.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So I gotta like go hide and eat in the bathroom. Like we would eat in the bathroom. We'd go to the locker room and eat hot dogs.
That's terrible.
We'd be going to the water fountain, spitting our water out. So I can understand the fear behind weight cut.
And then Sherwin. I remember seeing Sherwin for his cuts, and I'm like, I don't think I could do that. I mean, he's sitting in a bathtub getting hot water poured on him just to get those last few
And that becomes painful almost.
Yeah.
Like the sensory behind that is ridiculous. But yeah, I can see why. It's like that starts slow, and eventually you may find that it's like I want to cut more weight. I can.
Absolutely right. Once I do this, maybe it's like, okay, well I got here, I like it here. Let's see if I can go even lower. Let's push myself.
So I feel like fighting in general, like taking that leap and taking on the challenge of finding an opponent and coming onto a card like this, like that was the first step essentially, like to really get yourself ready and kind of mentally prepare. But like, like what got you ready? Like what prompted you to say I want to fight? Because I know before when you first started training, like I remember talking to you about it when we first we trained together. It was like, do you plan on fighting? Have you ever competed before? And back then it really wasn't your main goal.
Yeah, I've always been very, very casual about it. I know that if I hadn't been doing this the last 4 years, that I probably would be like 190 right now because the way I eat. I'm serious about that.
Yeah.
And so it was always just a way of working out, a way of self-defense, a way of just kind of doing something different that it ended up just becoming a hobby along the way.
Of course.
And what prompted this is just, again, I'm seeing my skill set grow. I'm seeing myself get better, but I'm not putting myself in situations to test if I'm actually getting better. And so that was kind of the biggest thing, is just I want to be able to test myself, but without. I just want to be able to test myself.
Test yourself at the end of the day. I mean, it takes a lot of courage even to accept a card like this. Like, who approached you? Did Kewing approach you, or
no?
You just signed? You said I want to fight.
Yeah, you know what? I heard, my friend Dan Darling. I heard him talking about it again, and I was like, maybe now's the time. It's been 4 years. 4 years in February. And it's February now, so maybe now's the time.
That's huge. I mean, that says a lot about your readiness, because sometimes I feel like people kind of get pushed into it, like, oh, you'd be great, you should fight.
Right, 6 months into training.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they're just gonna, they're like jumping into it. Whereas you're like, you waited until you were ready. You kind of initiated the matchmaking and said, I want to do this. That's awesome. That's huge. That's a huge part of keep getting ready, being prepared essentially. So other than the weight cut, I mean, it's nothing serious. You don't have to cut tons of weight. I mean. Training, what are you doing in the gym to differentiate yourself? What are you doing in the gym to kind of better yourself, get yourself ready for something like this? I mean, it's coming up pretty soon. We only got like a month, maybe a month and 10 days, I think. March 23rd, it's going to be a big event. What's going through your mind? What are you doing in the gym? What kind of training regiment are you putting in place, and like how are you differentiating that? I'm just here 6 days a week. I'm putting in hours of work, trying to get at least an hour and a half, 2 hours in every day, if not more. If I can get in with these other guys that are fighting, Cole and Darling, then I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, our schedules don't always align, so sometimes I get half an hour with them and then they got to go. So then I got to try to make the most of it when I can. I think that's the biggest struggle. Like I compete jiu-jitsu, and even that, it's like I want to get in here and roll. I want to get rounds in. I want to practice my skills, but it's like not everybody is competing like us. Not everybody is in that mind frame. So you text your buddies like, hey, can you come to the gym? Like, no, I've got family stuff or whatever. It's like hard to track these people
priorities
down.
It's low on the totem pole.
Exactly. I don't want to get my ass kicked today. No, I'm good.
Right.
Because they know we're getting ready for competition. So obviously we're in that mindset. We're ready to take someone's head off essentially. So not everybody's like super gung-ho about meeting me up at the gym to get work done essentially, But I can see that. I can see that being a kind of a struggle. But how do you overcome that? How do you do you just bother the shit out of these people or what? Well, I'm lucky, my buddy Emmanuel, he's been coming to the gym the same time I have, 4 years now, and I don't know. Surprised he's not fighting. I have to see him in the ring soon. Well, he's still in school too, so I think his priorities is school. Then maybe we'll see. So, but he was actually in earlier today. He left shortly before you got here. Oh, gotcha. But he was helping me. Didn't even ask for me to hold it. He was holding pads for me. Didn't ask for me to hold pads in return. I asked him. I offered, hey, let me hold for you. And he's like, you know what? No, I'm here for you. Absolutely, that's awesome. Yeah. That's so having him there, it's great. And you guys are like good friends, almost best friends, right? Yeah, since elementary school. Does he go to? He went to South too.
Yeah, he went
Did
to
you
South.
guys find out about Counter-Strike at the same time at that event?
I don't know if because we weren't in the same gym class, so we didn't go to the thing together.
Okay.
But I remember telling him about it, and then it was like, okay, whatever, cool. And then a couple of years later, I was like, hey, come with me to the gym. Like, just I want someone. And I remember we came here on a Sunday. Well, not to the old location. It was closed, and I was like, oh shit, And then another month went by before I got the I don't know, laziness out of my system to go check again, And so then I brought him along with me. We tried out a class. We're like, okay, yeah, why not? And so
he's a little badass, man.
Yeah,
I remember when I first went to Counter-Strike, he was the one I was like, damn, that's what Muay Thai looks like.
He's small, but he hits hard.
Oh yeah, and his form is on point.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. That's a great person to train with there. I mean, your size difference might be a struggle, right?
Yeah.
Just
I mean, on his end.
Yeah. Well, no, in general, even like going up against, you're preparing for someone more your height.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, I think your opponent is actually not that tall, right?
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I took a look at his Facebook page. He doesn't look very tall. So I mean, it might be an advantage training with Manuel, getting ready for a shorter guy.
My long arms. Keep him away from me.
Absolutely. Yeah, and those head kicks and stuff like that. They're just less distance to travel. Essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, having a guy like that works wonders. I mean, that's definitely gonna get you to the next level. Having a guy like that just to hold pads for you, selflessly train with you to know that we're here for you. We're here to better your game. You have a competition coming up. Let's get after it.
If I ask him to go on a run with me, like, he'll do it.
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
So
that is huge. Yeah, I mean, having a friendship like that in general, like training partner like that, that says so much about your game, about your training camp, whatever you want to call it. Like having that kind of influence is number one.
For sure.
Let's talk about your coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, you've trained under Rick Salo for many years. Just shout out to him. If you want to say some words about this guy, I mean, he's an amazing Muay Thai instructor. He's been in the Muay Thai world for quarter of a century,
decades,
right?
Yeah.
So he's been really well known and everything, and he's really taught you a lot, almost everything right?
Almost, yeah. I mean, thank you, Rick, for the 4 years of training that we've had together, and teaching all those new techniques and all those, keeping your chin down and all that basic stuff too. You've really drilled it into me, and I think it's really helping me. So
it shows in your game, and it really does. Like I said, I've seen you when we first started, essentially, and where you've come from that. Yeah. Like even seeing you at these seminars sometimes, and sometimes you even coach class, right?
Yeah, I've had to a couple times when the coaches couldn't make it. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that really improves your game too? Teaching.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's even more so when there's more beginners in the class too that I happen to be teaching. If it's me and a bunch of guys that already are in similar levels, it's like, okay, let's just get some work, and it's not really much coaching that I have to do. It's like, all right, let's just work, but when it's some of these beginner people that only been here a couple months, then it's like, okay, well, this is how you do it. Let me show you.
You really got to break it down for them, like say, okay, this is step by step. And I feel like from coming from jiu-jitsu, like when I teach someone, sometimes I work with the kids in class, and like I have to really, really break it down for them. Man, it's like opening up a whole new door, that technique. Yeah. Like I really start to realize, oh wow, I do that, or I'm missing this little piece that could really solidify the percentage of finishing that move. You know,
so I find myself too. Sometimes I cheat a little bit. You know what I mean? And sometimes I find myself taking those shortcuts. But then when you have to teach it to someone, it's like, okay, well, wait. You can't take the shortcut. The shorcut's actually like bad. You shouldn't do the shortcut.
Yep.
And so then I force myself to do it the right way for them. And then it's like, okay, Alex, remember, like you got to do it the right way every time. You can't take those shortcuts.
Absolutely. That's huge. Yeah, that's huge. So other than that, you got your weight cuts down. You're doing great with that. Training's on point 6 days a week. I mean, you can't do much better than that. You do need rest, essentially. Like, how are you resting? How are you recovering from these workouts, man?
So far, I don't know. I was here 7 days a week last week or two. So and then Coach Ray, shout out to him too for really kicking my ass with going 100% every single time.
Yep.
But he was telling me, Alex, you need a rest day. You got to have at least one. So I think actually tomorrow is going to be my rest day.
Good.
It'll be easiest day of the week to do it. But I don't even know what I'm going to do. It's my first
What are you going to do on your rest day?
I don't know, man.
You're going to rest?
I guess. No. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Go for a run or something. Do you know Darling will be out there fucking running
taking
miles.
his hour and a half run or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Rest days are definitely necessary.
Yeah.
But it's hard, man. It's hard to get the rest days in, especially when you're preparing for a fight. You're preparing for a competition because it's like you want to get that time in, and sometimes it's hard to, you know, with the busy schedule and everything, to get that time in. So you take what you can get, but definitely want to rest. Definitely want to like hydrate, make sure you're recovering from these workouts, because the last thing you want is to overtrain the day of competition and be like out of it. Even when you feel your best like a day before, sometimes a little bit of overtraining will just ruin it for you, like completely just squash it for you. But so 1 day a week rest, that's it.
We'll see. I mean, that's kind of, you know, where I'm at. If I start
to taper like as you get closer to the turn, like the match or the fight?
Probably, yeah. You know, if I end up getting weight really fast, you know, if I make weight in the next few weeks, then I'll probably just take it easy because, you know, I mean, I got to make sure I keep, you know, maintain that weight. But, you know, if I can avoid doing a water cut, that's perfect. You know what I mean? You know,
and when you're even like resting and like training, because you can still technically train, like you can train your mind during a rest day. Like if I'm like at home and I'm, you know, thinking about jiu-jitsu, I'll just pull up some YouTube videos and like go over little techniques and stuff, and maybe, you know, kind of break it down in my head, I guess. So you can use that as your rest day.
Or even, you know, very light technical shadow boxing, you know, not even throwing for speed or power, just kind of working your way through catches and sweeps.
What
and
did
whatever.
Rick used to call that?
Zen sparring.
Yeah, something like that. It's like really
that's
slow.
if you had a buddy, yeah.
And like you're not trying to hit each other hard or anything. It's just like super slow. And
he always used to say that there's no winner in sparring. You're just sparring. So do it Zen style, because you don't want to. He used to always say, if they start bleeding, then you're taken to the hospital in your car and getting blood on your seats.
You got to use your insurance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
No, so that's a good way to definitely get that training in without, you know, overdoing it. Essentially, just nice and slow. Get that Zen training. I love that, dude. That's awesome. We should do that more in jiu-jitsu, because I swear, it's like a curse. Like a week before, I'll just go hard and end up tearing something or hearing something pop, and I'm like, damn it.
Well, I feel bad because you know, I you know, my elbow, you know, when you're doing Muay Thai, you know, not that we're fighting with elbows or anything, but your elbows get in the way when you're fighting sometimes, or you're sparring, you know, so sometimes, you know, you're finding that someone's throwing a kick at you and your arm's just there and they hit you on your elbow.
You're doing just blocking, essentially.
I'm just blocking, you kicked me, but you're hurt for it, you know, but you're my friend, now I feel bad about it, you know, so.
Of course.
Yeah.
And everybody you train with are essentially friends, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's even better. That's huge. I mean, being in an environment where everybody knows everybody and we know that you have a fight coming up, so people are motivating you, right? Getting you ready, essentially.
I've known these guys for years, absolutely.
Awesome.
So,
all right, so I guess we can talk a little bit more about your opponent.
Sure.
Shoot, you know, let me pull this guy up really quick. I have his Facebook here. Uriel Salvidar.
I think so.
Something like that. He has no record, just like you. He's never fought before. This is a new experience for him.
Sure.
How, you know, what are your thoughts on your opponent? Like, do you have any of that in your head? Are you competing with yourself?
You know, I am curious as to how long he's been training. You know, stuff like that, because you know, with 0-0 opponents, you can get people, you know, that are, you know, 6 months in that are just like, yeah, let's do it. You can get people like me that have been, you know, for 4 years, and you know, like, maybe let's do it. You know. And so I'd be curious as to how long he's been training. But I mean, really, it's just, I think what you said is right. You know, it's more of a test for myself to see, you know, I've been doing this for 4 years. You know, let's put me to the test. Let's see if I can make it in the ring. Let's see, you know, if I can, you know, hopefully not make a fool of myself. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So
I feel like he's probably thinking the same thing. He's young.
Sure,
I think I saw he's like for part of the Marine Corps. He probably has like good discipline and stuff like that. I don't think he's going to look at this as I'm just trying to kill somebody. Right. He probably has some training under his belt and whatnot. But well, if you had to ask him one thing before your fight, what would it be?
Oh, before the fight. Oh.
Yeah, like right now, like in the training of it.
Yeah. I guess I'd want to know what his current weight is at, and so I want to know how much he's cutting for this. You know?
That's a good question.
Is he like 170, 175, and he's, you know, cutting down, and he's gonna like have this heavy right hand that's just gonna knock me out, or what's gonna happen?
And he is a shorter guy. I think just from looking at his page, he is a little bit shorter than you, and he is a little bit bulkier than you. So that's definitely a possibility. And who knows what he's doing with his training regimen? Maybe not just Muay Thai, but also like lifting weights, heavy lifting, all that stuff. Do you incorporate any of that stuff into your training?
I should. I have not.
Okay. It's all right. You know what? Honestly, I think that my opinion on it is train your game.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes I feel like people get lost in the weight part, and like lifting weights and training in that sense, and they lose their game plan because of it. So my best recommendation, especially for what I do with jiu-jitsu, is like just do jiu-jitsu. If you want to be a better jiu-jitsu, do jiu-jitsu. If you want to be a better wrestler, wrestle. If you want to be a better Muay Thai, get in the ring, spar.
And that's why Muay Thai was so good for me, because I got bored of lifting weights. You know, I remember I bought this, squat, it was like a half squat and bench rack or whatever a few years ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start lifting weights. And I used it like twice. You know what I mean? Because it's boring. I can't get into it.
I used to feel the same exact way, man. Like, I used to lift heavy all the time. I used to be in the gym trying to get swole.
Yeah, right.
It was boring, man. It was so boring. I got sick of it so quickly. Not only that, I was hurting myself half the time trying to get big and swole. And I found that the best thing to do if you're training for something, you want to compete, or if you want to do something in the ring or on the mat or whatever, it's just do that sport.
Absolutely,
just focus on it. Train. Like even my workouts, like when I'm getting ready for a tournament or something like that, or a competition, they're jiu-jitsu oriented.
Yeah.
Like I'm rolling and I'm jumping and being explosive.
Doing drills that are related. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So I'm excited to see you fight, man. Like I said, we've come a long way.
Yeah,
I've seen you when you first started. When you first started throwing hands and kicks and stuff. And it's really exciting to see you finally getting in the ring and everything, and you have an amazing opponent to go up against. You guys are very equally, skilled and everything. So I think it's going to be a really good showing, and
I'm excited.
A good, time to debut your skills and show the world what you're made of.
Absolutely,
Alex.
yeah.
Super stoked about it. So guys, March 23rd is going to be Alex's fight. He's going to be fighting Uriel Salvidar. I'm going to have to that's going to take me some tries to get used to. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast soon as well and kind of hear his story, hear what he's gone through and whatnot. But Alex is ready. He's ready to fight. He's got his weight down. He's training 6 days a week. Do you have any last words for the audience? Anything that you can tell your opponent as far as getting ready for this, or even the audience that's going to be watching you that night?
No, absolutely. You know what? Uriel trained hard. I want this to be a real test of me and of us together. But also I'm just looking forward to it. Looking forward to having a good time, because I think Muay Thai is a lot of fun, and I think that it's going to be a lot of fun in that ring. So I'm just looking forward to that.
Hell yeah, perfect. That's awesome. Couldn't have been more well said, man. Excellent. Yeah. So stay tuned for Alex Alumbaugh and Uriel at March 23rd. Fight Night Fury. It's going to be an amazing night again. It's not just Muay Thai. We got some jiu-jitsu, 3-on-3 team jiu-jitsu going on as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you so much, Alex, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Alex Alumbaugh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out, and that's a wrap.
Yeah, thank you.